Hello and welcome back to episode 22 of St Albans Take to the Skies. We're back once again, and as you know, we're in the National League. It's been a bit of a struggle recently. So since you were last with us when we went out of the FA Cup, we then lost to Ebbsfleet as well, 1-0. We bounced back from that with a 3-1 win against Solihull Moors and a 1-0 win against Hemel Hempstead. But then we drew with Stockport County, lost 2-1 to Barnet, drew with Guiseley, and only recently we've bounced back a little bit with a 1-0 win against Boston United. Today we're going to be playing against Bath in the FA Trophy 4th round, and also Chelmsford in the National League, which at the moment we are sat in 7th place on the edge of the playoffs. We're level on points with Yeovil, who are right behind us, but we're doing quite well and looking very safe, most importantly. 12 points clear of the drop. Let's go and see if we can get into the next round of the FA Trophy. So the lineup we've gone for today, we've got Parks in goal, a back four of Stark, Adebowell, Forrester and Longello. Ballantyne is the holding midfielder with Harper on the right, Wise in the middle, Pett in the number 10, Coley on the left, and then Rush up front. Obviously playing against a team that he did score, at the level he was scoring tons of goals. We're struggling a little bit with our strikers. They're not really free-flowing goals like we had at one point. So my hope is giving Samuels a bit of a rest. Either he can get going again, or Rush can get his goal-scoring form back from last season. Early on, we've got the ball with Adebowell. He finds Rush, who heads on, but no one behind him. Allardyce plays it to his centre-back partner. Longello intercepts that long ball and goes for a long ball in behind. Rush is on the end of it, and Rush has scored to make it 1-0 to St Albans FC, and that's a very good start for us. 20 minutes gone, and we have the lead. Great ball in behind, great first time volley, and as I say, a very nice lead for us, where perhaps we can have a run in the FA Trophy, something we haven't really done so far. I think the 4th round is the equal furthest we've gone so far. In our 2 seasons before this, Cover is on the ball, plays it to German, who's going to try and come in from the left, back to Cover. He goes inside to Smith and to Hilton, to Fletcher, who's got Willard, Hilton, Asare, shoots from the edge of the box and finds the bottom corner a bit too easily for my liking there, really. Poor from Parks a little bit, no one closing him down. I mean, Longello gets brought in by Willard and Coley just hasn't trapped back at all. So it's 1-1 at half time and a fairly even game. They've perhaps slightly edged it. Let's just have a look at what we can do here. We might just lower the tempo a little bit. And maybe we slightly push up our line of engagement. We've been inferior the stronger team here because Bath are still down in the National League North, I believe they're in. So really we should be able to win this game comfortably. We're going to make a change here with Matthews coming on for Wise, so that then Pett can drop back into midfield and Matthews can go in behind Rush. Longello with a free kick here, plays it to Pett in his new position. Longello gets it back and goes inside. He ends up playing it back to Ballantyne, back to Stark. And then Adebowell tries to find Harper on the right and just about manages to do so. Stark goes long over the top. Matthews is in behind, and Matthews has scored to make it 2-1 to St Albans. We are back in the lead. We're going to drop down to balanced. and just start to lower the tempo of the game and try and kill it a little bit, keep the ball and prevent them from getting back into it. Great ball by Stark. I thought Rush was going to go for it, but he leaves it for Matthews, who's unmarked and able to put us in the lead. We're going to send Flanagan on for Ballantyne, although he doesn't really want to. What we might do is just push Flanagan to there as a defensive centre mid. Ballantyne needs the rest. He did going into this game. Matthews heads down to Pett, who is able to bring the ball forward. He sends it out to Longello, who's got a chance for a cross, plays it inside to Coley, back to Longello, who then crosses it. Matthews heads down to Rush, who makes it 3-1, and we now look relatively comfortable. That's our big thing, is getting the lead. Once we're in the lead, we tend to be okay. It's just if we can't get the lead, we do struggle. We struggle to get that first goal. Once we've got it, we tend to be okay. And that is looking the case here. We're going to make our final change, bringing Longello off for Sanders at left back. As we pass it out from back, Forrester with space tries to find Rush, but Murphy intercepts it, and then the ball over the top. Fletcher nearly gets in behind, but it's headed away to Eiffel, who gets the ball back into Fletcher, who heads over the bar. And we are thankfully still leading 3-1. Parks plays it out to Forrester. He goes long to Rush, who heads over to Coley. And it goes back to Rush, who's beaten Murphy to the ball, and that should be a goal from Rush there. But unfortunately, he doesn't manage to finish that chance. And now Cover plays it inside. German back to Cover, who goes for a very long ball that Parks is easily going to collect. And he plays it out to Stark, who sends it infield to Matthews. Pett through for Coley. One-on-one with the keeper and straight at the keeper. Easy save for Gregory. A great chance from Coley, but not a good enough finish. Harper now heads down to Flanagan and exchanges the ball with him. And then goes inside. Rush brings it down nicely. Tries to get it back out to Harper, but it was a poor pass. Gives it away. Fletcher plays it to Smith, who goes over the top towards Hilton, who's one-on-one with Parks, and Parks with a good save that keeps us at the 3-1 lead. His cross goes to the far post. Matthews heads away. It was a strong header that Smith is able to collect. Goes back into Ifel, who was offside, but the cross was blocked anyway, which is very nice to see. Good closing down from, I believe it was Adebayo. And now all we've got to do is survive 4 minutes of added time. Adebayo goes back to Parks, who goes long. Rush heads down poorly, and Baffer in here, and a great save by Parks, preventing German from getting a late goal, which would have put a lot of pressure on us for the final moments. Sanders now throws it straight to Fletcher. No hesitation. Hilton's on the ball now. He goes inside, finds German. And it's back out to the right for Asare, who crosses it in. Stark at the far post, heads away. Matthews heads on to Rush, who's now got a bit of space to run into, but he's stopped by Starchin. Adebayo heads down, but again it's intercepted. Fletcher to Richards. Ball over the top towards Ifel, who's trying to get space for a cross. Adebayo heads away, but straight back to Ifel, and the ball comes in, and this time German gets to the ball first and makes it 3-2. However, it is already the 94th minute, and we have done enough to advance to the next round. A 3-2 win. It was more comfortable than it looked, I'd say. They didn't threaten us a lot. But either way, we're going to go through, see how we get on in the league game now, and potentially see who we get drawn against in the next round if that falls in between the games. Let's have a look. So back for the 5th round draw of the FA Trophy. We are going to be trying to qualify for the quarter-final, which would be a fantastic result for us this season. Let's see if we can beat the team that we are going to get drawn against. Ideally, we want one of the teams from the National League South or North, because they're just that slight bit weaker than ourselves. So that would be ideal. Wrexham there, and they'll be playing Hornchurch. Hereford, would be happy with them. It is Hereford Town. So I think what we'll probably do is actually come back and see if we can get the Hereford game on as well. Or maybe we skip through to the quarter-final if we qualify. That might be a little bit soon. I'll figure it out. Let's go and play Chelmsford. Well, contrary to the original plans, Chelmsford had to play a FA Trophy replay. So we're instead going to play Dover Athletic. We've had a few changes. So Harper has moved back to right back. And then we've got Pett dropping back into midfield so that Matthews is playing in the number 10. Napa returns on the right wing. And then the rest of the team remains the same from our previous win. Let's see if we can get a good result against Dover. Of course, one of the teams that started in the National League South with us. And I believe came up the same year as us as well. I've already forgotten. But I'm fairly sure they came up the same year we did. They won the playoffs, I believe. So a bit of a meeting between two teams who came up together. And in theory, going into the season would have been relegation battles. But as it turns out, both of us are doing quite well this year. I believe Dover are currently in 10th. We're, of course, in 7th, right on the edge of the playoffs. Cumberbatch trying to get down the right. But a good tackle there, and then Harper heads away. Matthews doesn't beat his man to the ball. And it's back to Morris, who goes over the top. And it is offside. I did think it was as I saw it go in. We're going to make a couple of little changes here, just to try and make sure that we remain comfortable in this game. But as you'll see here, not as far as I thought, but it was offside. And yeah, as I said, Dover 10th, I thought they were. So quite a competitive game between two teams who came up together and have exceeded expectations, it would be fair to say. And as we approach half-time, it might not be 0-0 because Munns has got a cross. Adeboel heads away. Longello clears it towards Rush, who heads out to Napa on the right. Back inside to Rush, one-on-one with the defender. And he can't beat him. The ball breaks for Bramble, who tries to get it upfield, but it's headed back to him. Cumberbatch now on the ball, and Forrester denies his through ball. It's back to Rooney. Morris plays the ball through. Rigg is through, and Rigg has scored. And that was poor from Adeboel, as the ball went right past him. And he just seemed to ignore it more than anything. As the ball comes forward here, Adeboel just seemed to ignore it. And a disappointing way and time for us to go 1-0 down right on the stroke of half-time. So we're going to demand more. We're going to go positive and see if we can get back into this as quickly as possible. We're going to go a bit more high tempo and see if that does get us back into it. And it's actually a corner for Dover. Munn sends it in, and Matthews heads into a very empty part of the goal, with Parks and Longello not covering that side. We're not going to watch that again. I don't really want to. We're going to send Pett out to the right and send Wise into midfield. As Rooney heads the ball forward, Forrester heads down to Longello. He goes inside to Ballantyne, forward to Pett. And it's with Coley now, who looks for a ball towards Rush, who has managed to bring it down, plays it across for Matthews, and it fumbles in. It was a mess. It's a clearance from Morris, and then it seems to hit Matthews and go back into Morris. as he's still swinging his leg, and the keeper just can't get back to recover it. And a bit of, well, a chunk of luck sends us back 1 goal behind. Harper now crosses in. Matthews can't quite win the header. He was beaten to it by Matthews. Ballantyne looks in behind for Rush, who's hit the side net, but he was offside anyway. And now we've got a corner. Pett goes short to Ballantyne, back to Pett, who crosses in. And Adebowale was in there, but heads over the bar. And we are looking like we're on the verge of getting a goal here. We've got 15 minutes to try and find one. We're going to let this highlight play out here and then make changes. As Matthews hits the bar for a second time. And now we're going to send Samuels on up front. And that's the only change I'm going to make at the moment. I think that might be the only 2 changes we make in the game. No, we're going to send Sanders on for Coley, and then Longello can go up further up the wing. Samuels shoots from range, but it's straight at the keeper. We're going to demand more and go attacking and just see if we can get a late goal in this game. But it's looking like it might just have got away from us. Morris with a throw in here. He sends it into Rigg, who goes back to Morris. Munns Cumberbatch through for Rigg, and it's a poor finish in what could be a very big moment. If we can get a late goal, then Rigg would really come to regret that chance. Sanders has brought down the goal kick, plays it to Longello, who goes across field to Pett, who's brought it down very nicely, shoots and hits the post. And we have been so unlucky not to get back into this game, as Dover now wastes a bit of time with the throw-in, eventually throw it in, and Forrester brings down the ball forward, exchanges with Ballantyne, and then lumps it forward. Not ideal. Morris lumps it behind our defence, but Parks easily claims that, and he's going to go long towards Samuels, who nearly brought it down, but a tackle from Rooney prevents him from doing so. And that was, to be fair, a fantastic tackle. Curry now going to take his time, clears the ball upfield, and that is going to be full time. So it's a 2-1 loss to Dover. I'm not particularly unhappy with that. It was a good performance. We were just a bit unlucky not to get an equaliser late on. However, it does mean temporarily, at least, Dover go above us. We have got a game in hand on them. If we win our game in hand, we're back in the playoffs. So hopefully that will be the case. Let's have a look where we're going to come back. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to play the Hereford game off camera in hopes that we can win that game. And my plan will be to come back for the FA Trophy quarter-final. If we lose, we'll probably come back somewhere around the Wrexham and Morecambe game. But we'll figure that out when it comes to it. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment if you are enjoying the series, and let me know what you think is going to happen in that game against Hereford. Subscribe as well if you're enjoying the content on the channel. Don't forget to check out my other series, Unknown to World Known, where we started unemployed and we've worked our way through 8 clubs now. And I think it was 7 trophies. Maybe more trophies, I'm not sure. You'll have to go watch the series to find out. Thank you very much for watching.